Set up the scene. Colin Cowherd is a national talk show host, a very, very popular guy, and very opinionated. And, he's always been probably one of the best I heard about setting up a topic and a discussion, argument one way or the other. But I have noticed that as he has gotten bigger, and he's huge, Fox Sports, he has kind of gotten this elitist attitude. I hope that's the right word, that if you don't work in L.A. or you're not on national radio, that you're basically just a punk or you're a peon. That's probably a better word. He took some shots at the NJCAA or national, took shots at junior college in general. I went to Tyler Junior College, and my story was when my father was brought back from Japan, we went to San Antonio. There was no internet. I didn't know where I was going to college. And I didn't have the best ACT score. Admit it. So I went to Tyler Junior College for 2 years, and it shaped my life. I loved that place. I covered junior college forever, and still in some cases we do. I think there's a huge reason why junior colleges exist. And sometimes it could be an academic issue. Sometimes it could be a comeback issue. And sometimes good damn people go to JUCOs who are smarter than hell and also affect lives. So here is the NJCAA responding to Colin Cowherd.
Well, what did he say?
He basically just said that it's just a bunch of thugs and stuff like that.
Okay.
So here's the NJCAA. The statement made by Colin Cowherd, degrading and also uneducated.
The statements made by Colin Cowherd are degrading and uneducated. There is no level in sports that should be
Tolerate,
yeah, because there's so many wires in the way.
That should tolerate the behavior. That Mr. Cowherd has been... that
was referring to his statements. Yeah, again, I can't see everywhere, so we're going to have to pull this up.
I've got it. I've got it here on an email. The statement made by Colin Cowherd are degrading and uneducated. There is no level in sports that should tolerate the behavior that Mr. Cowherd was referring to. His statement is further evidence of a negative, uninformed stigma in our society regarding junior college and two-year collegiate athletics and higher education. To portray that grown-ups acting like fools is normal behavior in the junior college basketball, and that only coaching in the Big Ten or Power 5 level is a big responsibility is false. Big responsibilities are not measured by the level that you coach, but rather the impact you make on young person's life to chase their aspirations, become better versions of themselves. That is what junior college coaches do each and every day. Now, he was talking about players, athletes, coaches. I'm a JUCO guy. I'm proud as hell of being a JUCO guy. I covered an incredible junior college conference for 30 years. And yes, there are players that get into junior colleges who are on the comeback trail, transfer around. Well, that happens at the Power 5 level, by the way. And I have seen some times in the junior college level that it gets a little bit out of control on occasion, coaches and players, like Michigan and Wisconsin on Sunday evening. And there is a stigma that junior college is a bunch of dumb idiots, athletes who can't get into colleges. There are reasons. My ACT score wasn't very good. Plus, I didn't know where I wanted to go. I lived in Japan the 4 years before graduating. And that pisses me off. And it's not just because I went to a junior college. It's because I know great people who have served young men and women, students and student athletes at the junior college level. And there are amazing junior college athletes, coaches, and campuses around this country.
Well, part of it is Colin Cowherd's shtick for a long time has been the only two places that matter are New York and Los Angeles. That's it. The only two places that matter are New York and LA. Everybody else is a bumpkin, or everybody else doesn't get it. You're really here. You really made it. Like his stuff about Lincoln Riley, he's going to get interviewed by real journalists. Oh, really? He's going to get interviewed by journalists in a pro sports town. Because that's what they can. I mean, look, USC is a big deal, and it's never not going to be a big deal, but it's never going to be as big a deal as the Lakers. It's never going to be as big a deal as the Dodgers or the Rams or the Chargers, whatever it is. LA's a pro sports town. So him going there and getting that remark about like, oh, he'll get really, the journalists in Norman are pretty much after you all the time. Ask Bob Stoops.
Dude, Eddie Radosevich is hiding in bushes and crap, getting airport footage.
Because that's the only thing he can do. So, but that's what they cover is Oklahoma football. So, again, the sports page in Norman, Oklahoma, and in Oklahoma City, which has an NBA team, will jump to the Sooners before anything else. So to pretend like that's different. And so it just trickles down into this. Junior college, blah, blah, blah. It's uninformed. Some of the best coaches in college basketball from junior college.
What did we just hear about Mark Adams and Ross Hodge and Grant McCaskill?
Buzz Williams.
Yes.
I mean, Dana Altman. They all coached in junior college, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I really used to love listening to Cowherd when he was just an ESPN guy and he was like midday and just did his thing. And he had, the great ability to carry a show pretty much by himself, which not a lot of people can do. Most shows now are 2, 3, and shoot, in Dallas there's like 6 people on one show. It's kind of gotten crazy in some cases, but yeah, I mean, he's got a really great ability to do that. He does have a good way, at least when I used to listen to him years ago, of setting up his talking points, like you said. But I don't know, there was at some point in his career where he started to make like big money and started to get a lot of attention, and like his real personality came out, the West Coast elitist. I'm above you, my nose is so high in the air that I can't even see at your level. That side of him came out. I don't know if that was always there. And thinking back, he always kind of had a little bit of an arrogance to him, but he certainly is not an everyman, and he's not somebody that I think most people can relate to. So I have no surprise whatsoever to hear that he does not understand why JUCO basketball or JUCO sports wasn't deserving of the way that he ran them down. And he won't care, and he'll never respond to it again. He'll move on because in this case he was wrong. And I think the people that have responded to him have raised plenty of great points. But what do people like him do? When they're right, they ram it in your face over and over and over and over again and tell you how right they were. And when they're wrong, all of a sudden it just disappears. It just goes away and you never hear about it again. It's weird how that happens. So they'll move on from that. He probably won't talk about it anymore. If he does, he'd probably be talking out both sides of his mouth. Colin's good at what he does, but he's not as good as he thinks he is. And I know I'm just some dude with like 10,000 Twitter followers to his 2-3 million or whatever it is. Some dude making tens of thousands versus, some dude making millions. But shoot, man, at least I can be able to relate to people. Your ass is so fucking, your ass is so stuck up LA, Hollywood, glitz and glamour and all of that you can't even see the real people out there. And I think instead of like poking down and punching down at them, you're just really showing your true colors and who you really are. A West Coast elitist who doesn't relate to the everyman. So I'm not surprised by his comments, and sorry for cursing there, but I mean, that's just, I hate elitism. I hate that snobbery, and it just seems like that's really grown with him more and more over the years. For some reason, I don't know if it's the money, if it's the attention or what, but I've definitely seen a change in the guy that I used to listen to on ESPN radio, and it's not a change that I've liked, and that's why I don't listen.
He used to be fun.
Yeah.
He was as good as I've ever heard, and I mean this. All the years I've been in radio, 41, or in TV, whatever, media, about setting up a conversation. I was at times like, God, I wish I could set it up like that. He was good at it.
Around the Horn was a great segment where he would just go and get beat writers. Those beat writers that he just, took a dump on, it's kind of ridiculous. I don't understand why you'd go from someone who was fun and insightful at the same time, and then all of a sudden, and part of it was maybe the advent of social media, where social media makes people feel way more important than they are.
No question.
I give you no better example than Alyssa Milano, who is an actress, that was on Who's the Boss and Charmed in Melrose Place, that she was tweeting about Brett Kavanaugh so much that she's like, I'm going to go to the hearing. Great, Alyssa Milano's there. It'll all get worked out. Yeah. I mean, what do you mean? And I think he's got a little bit of that where, like, he started to just believe, like, oh, I'm important. People need to hear what I have to say. And so he has these crazy takes like Baker Mayfield will never be successful because he wears his hat backwards. Yeah. It's just insane.
Here are some responses that we have from 512. Colin Cowherd started his career in Eastern Washington, of all places, and then Portland, and then higher. And I know his story because he's talked about it. And I'm telling you, I enjoyed listening to him. Can't believe he digs at the smaller areas considering. From Tony, The First Lady of the United States is a brilliant professor at an outstanding junior college and has been for decades.
I really don't understand why there is that stigma too. Like I think like most of it comes from like football recruiting, I guess. Of where you do have the guys who get in trouble and then they go JUCO and then you hear about them later on. And so I understand it to an extent, but like this idea that that's all JUCO is, I just think like there's thousands of responses that prove otherwise. And Colin Cowherd will probably not read a single one of those because he's so above it all. But, I mean, if he actually took the time to check out of whatever fake reality he's living in where he's so self-important and actually listen to, real people, then maybe he could see that. But, no, he's too smug for that. He's too smug and too stubborn to be able to understand. So, yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I enjoyed him years ago. Haven't kept up so much once he kind of turned personality-wise, in my opinion. So no surprise he made those comments. But there's a lot more going for JUCO ball than it's probably given credit, or certainly than it's given credit for. And I'm glad a lot of people had the kind of extreme response that they had and were sticking to their guns. I'm sure he's talked. I don't know. I'm sure I know he talks a lot of NBA. Has he talked about Jimmy Butler at all? Does he talk about Jimmy Butler ever? Jimmy Butler's a JUCO guy.
I covered it.
We could go through a bunch more JUCO guys in the NBA.
Cam Newton's a JUCO guy.
Cam Newton's a JUCO guy.
Warren Moon, Frank Gifford, Larry Allen, Walter Jones,
Thugs,
Roger Staubach,
Thugs,
Aaron Rodgers,
Thugs. Yeah, I mean, come on.
Oh,
dude.
he loves Aaron Rodgers.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I'd love to hear him. I'm sure he'll backpedal on that part. Well, Aaron Rodgers, he had to go. But I'm sure there would be some little backpedal there. But
Josh Heupel.
But yeah, like it's just we probably spent more time than need to. He threw out his hot sports opinion that wasn't really that great of an opinion based on the feedback. And again, he'll probably never react to it and being wrong about it. But the people that know, and they know that he was wrong in this case.
Cam Newton has some issues and has had some issues.
That's why
with
he had to go
junior
JUCO.
college.
So yeah, there's
Michael
example.
Bishop at Kansas State. Levante David won a Super Bowl, Craig, and Paul Wright at Tampa Bay. Went to a junior college, Fort Scott. Mike Rozier, Keyshawn Johnson. Let's see. There's just a few others. O.J. Simpson.
There's plenty.
Corey Dillon, Bryant McKinney. There are some others. There's plenty of them. I don't have to argue about it. I just wanted to let you know, one of my favorite people ever that I ever covered and got to know in my lifetime was Floyd Wagstaff, the longtime head football coach and basketball coach at Tyler Junior College, one of the greatest personalities. Craig got to know him as well. Funniest man I've ever known, maybe, and he was in the Hall of Fame. And he's the one that said something to me when I visited, not knowing anything about Tyler Junior College, that said, I'm going to go here. And I'm so glad that I did.
And here's the other thing that, I saw plenty of people point out. You will not find a group of coaches and administrators that are more passionate about doing things for their student athletes and about giving them opportunities than in junior college. They don't have the resources to work with. They don't have huge endowments. They don't have multiple scholarships to give away. They work the best they can with what they can to give a platform to athletes to continue their careers and also continue their classwork and hopefully get degrees and hopefully give them a launching pad to where they can go from Tyler Junior College to Auburn to win titles, so then Colin Cowherd can slobber all over them, and when they become successful, be their best friend and get the rub. I mean, and that, but there is nobody more dedicated than JUCO folks with what they have to deal with and the little amount that they have at their disposal compared to the big universities.
You got dorms? No.
You don't do it.
Do
you do it for fame? No. Do you do it for attention? No. Do you do it for money? All the things that Colin Cowherd does his job for. No wonder he doesn't relate to it, because it's actually human and genuine, and it's for the betterment of other people, not the betterment of your social media profile or your ratings or whatever. So, of course, he doesn't get it.
All right, from Joe Smokey, TJC alum myself, class of 82. I am an old guy. We are, both of them. Also from Ray, it took Colin to get Craig to slip. I love it. Laugh out loud. Joe, tell it like it is. He's a total prick.
Again, he's good at what he does. I mean, he's clearly good at what he does to be in the position that he's in. But and I don't hate the guy or nothing like that. But I do think he's way off base on this one. But he'll never realize it, I'm sure.
Daniel, love it when Craig speaks from the heart. No need to apologize. From Tim, I don't listen anymore to him. He's always been that way, a scumbag. Glad Craig let it out. I can't take the frigging word anymore. Just say it. We all know what you mean. And he was talking about just blowing it out. Mike, 14 years ago, he made a big comment about Starbucks going up on their coffee to $5 and would eliminate low-life people from standing in line with him.
Hey, look, if you've been to any kind of Starbucks, believe me, it didn't stop anybody.
Ray, time to reset the accident sign for Friday. It's been one day since the last F word.
Yeah.
Stephen, 2 points on JUCO, less debt for first 2 years of an education. JUCO offers great job opportunities in the trades, which are much needed. And that's exactly right. Junior colleges are for the communities. They are. Well said, Craig. And then Craig got it right from a Facebook from Gary, Football Bob, who was on us on the chat room as well. Thank you for all the feedback. I didn't know if you'd agree with me or not. It is a stigma. There is a reputation. I've seen it. I've seen some bad moments. And then I watched Michigan and Wisconsin as well. I saw LeGarrette Blunt, who, by the way, was a junior college guy, with what he did at Oregon. We've seen a lot of things happen that were Division I and FCS or whatever. It's just kind of going to happen if you have enough people involved in a business or a team or any kind of association.
Yep.
All right. When we come back, John Machota, the Athletic